release of Avengers Infinity War, I thought it would be fun to try something a little bit different, and over on Twitter, IG Mickey Facts gave me the perfect idea. And apparently a bunch of you guys had the exact same great idea, so today we're gonna stop and rank all 33 Marvel Cinematic Universe post-credit scenes from the worst to those. Now there's no bad ones here, so it's really more like good to best is what we're doing, and as I rank them, what I'm trying to do is look at how funny they are, how interesting they are, how much they tease what's coming next and give us something that actually excites us for what's happening. So the ones that are lower to the bottom, they're cute scenes, they're not bad, they just didn't excite me the way the ones at the top did. Now as I give my list, go ahead and tell me down below, what are like your top 5 favorite post-credit scenes in an MCU film? Also, this video is brought to you by my supporters over on Patreon. You can see their names down below. Because of their support, I'm able to put the extra time, energy into the channel, and kind of keep increasing the quality. Thank you guys so much for making that happen. As I go into this video, I'm not going to talk about all 33 of these. I'm only going to talk about my top 10. I'm just going to let the little clips I play of each of these kind of speak for themselves, and you can kind of decide whether you think I should have moved it up or down. Tell me down below in the comment section. With that said, let's get started.
You here with a mission, sir?
I am.
Trying to get me back in the world?
Trying to save it.
You should listen. What if I told you we were putting a team together? Who's we?
With these bottom 4, I just felt like they repeated a theme that we saw in a previous post-credit scene, or they didn't really add anything interesting to the film.
Not my training.
So?
I don't have the
What, the time?
temperament.
You know what, now that I think about it, oh, God, my original wound. 1983, all right?
Yes.
I'm 14 years old, I still have a nanny? That was weird.
What do you let it lick you like that for? Gross.
Tea? I don't drink tea.
What do you drink?
Not tea.
How will I get out of here? Hey, gee, I've got so many more stories to tell. Guys, oh, gee.
I gotta say, I'm proud of you all. This revolution has been a huge success. Yay us. Pat on the back. Pat on the back. Come on.
His friend was huge. Like huge. Way better. Thank you.
Okay, tough guy.
Love you, May.
And I heard a rumor. You know who he is?
If I knew who he was, he'd already be dead.
Why are you doing this? Because I see at long last what's wrong with the world. Too many sorcerers.
I am Groot.
I am not boring, you're boring. You know what's boring? Sitting there playing that mind-numbing game. What's boring is me tripping over your vines every day. I'm not boring.
If we call Tony, he won't believe us. Even if he did, who knows if the Accords will let him help. We're on our own. Maybe not. I know a guy.
Sometimes patience is the key to victory. Sometimes it leads to very little, and it seems like it's not worth it. And you wonder, why you waited so long for something so disappointing.
Fine. I'll do it myself.
Power, Doctor. If we can figure out how to tap it, maybe unlimited power.
Well, I guess that's worth a look.
Well, I guess that's worth a look.
More powerful, more beautiful, more capable of destroying the Guardians of the Galaxy. I think I shall call him Adam.
Coming in at number 10 is Captain America: The Winter Soldier, The Twins, and Hydra.
The twins.
Sooner or later, they will meet the twins.
So this clip kind of gave us a little hint as to what was going on in the world of Hydra outside of the adventure that we saw in the film, and it also teased what we were about to see in Age of Ultron. So this one is really very much a bridge between these two films, and it's our introduction to both Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver. So I thought this one was a nice little tease. Coming in at number 9 is Thor Ragnarok: Thanos Arrives.
Probably not, to be honest. I wouldn't worry, brother. I feel like everything's gonna work out fine.
So this scene has some nice little banter between Thor and Loki, establishing what they're trying to do, and then Thanos' ship pulls up. I actually debated putting this one last on the list because tonally, between where this scene is at, what this scene does, and where Infinity War picks up, they are way different places. But at the end of the day, the scene was just kind of too important to the Marvel Cinematic Universe and too big of a tease and too much of a bridge to not include it in the top 10. At number 8 is Captain America: Civil War, Bucky in Wakanda.
You know, if they find out he's here, they'll come for him. Let them try.
So for this one, I had to put it here because this is kind of our little first look at Wakanda and seeing their technology, how futuristic they are. Also establishing the friendship and bonds that's been being built between Captain America, Bucky, and Black Panther. All this is really important stuff leading into Infinity War, so it's a bridge, it's an introduction, it's got a bunch of things that just make for a great scene. Coming in at number 7 is Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, Ravengers Re-Team.
That it took the tragedy of losing Yondu to bring us all together again, but I think he'd be proud knowing that we're back as a team.
I'm in. Dope.
I miss you guys so much!
Hell yes.
So seeing all of these great actors, including one of my absolute favorites, Sylvester Stallone, kind of tease these future adventures that they might have, teasing that they might return, that just put a huge smile on my face. I hope this happens. I hope that this is where Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 or some spin-off movie takes things. I would love to see a Stallone-led movie in the Marvel Cinematic Universe with this group of space pirates of sorts. I loved what they did with this scene, so it cracks my top 10. At number 6 is Ant-Man: Introduction to the Wasp.
Maybe it's time we finished it.
It's about damn time.
All throughout the movie, they were talking about how Evangeline really wanted to be the Wasp, wanted to be a superhero, but her dad wouldn't let her. So finally in the post-credits scene, he gives her the suit, teasing what the next movie would be, and now we're just a couple of months away from that movie coming out. The trailers have been great. So this was a great tease that kind of whet the appetite, made us excited for this movie that's about to come out. Bringing us into the top 5 is Iron Man 2, Coulson finds Thor's hammer.
Sir, we found it.
Now, this is just a cool, fun way to introduce Thor and the world that we're about to go into with Thor the next year. And so just having Coulson drive out there gave us a different way of doing a post-credit scene as opposed to Nick Fury showing up or Tony Stark showing up somewhere, Coulson finding Thor's hammer. Nice little way to set up where things are headed. At number 4 is Thor the Dark World. The Collector gets an Infinity Stone.
But if I may ask, why not keep it secure in your own vault?
The Tesseract is already on Asgard. It is not wise to keep 2 Infinity Stones so close together.
That's very wise.
Now, for me, this movie wasn't one that was particularly memorable, but this post-credit scene was really important. It both gave us information about kind of the thought process on how they store, collect the Infinity Stones, how they think they need to be separated. It establishes where one of the Infinity Stones is at, and this leads very much so, you know, years later, 5 years beforehand, leads us to Infinity War. So this is a scene that while the movie itself didn't necessarily make a mark, I thought this was one of the best post-credit scenes. Kicking off the top 3 is the Avengers, the introduction of Thanos. So in this movie, we find out who was behind the scenes, really the puppet master making everything happen that was really responsible for Loki's attack on New York City, and it was Thanos. And all he had to do was turn his head a little bit, and my theater went nuts. And this was the start of what led to Infinity War, the movie that came out this past weekend that is just blowing up the box office. So this is absolutely one of the top 3 best post-credit scenes. But our runner-up is going to be Guardians of the Galaxy Dancing Baby Groot. Out of all the post-credit scenes on the list, without question, the one that has put the biggest grin on my face, the one that I've rewatched the most, the one that I was just like, wow, that was just so good. And the use of I Want You Back from the Jacksepticeye was so perfect. And having Drax turn to look was absolutely the essential element. This is it. This is the one that was just perfection in my mind and put a big, gigantic grin on my face. Just pure joy, pure fun. So for me, this one is my number 2 pick. But for me, the number 1 has to be the original Iron Man. Nick Fury meets Tony Stark.
You think you're the only superhero in the world? Mr. Stark, you become part of a bigger universe. You just don't know it yet.
Who the hell are you?
Nick Fury, director of S.H.I.E.L.D. I'm here to talk to you about the Avenger initiative.
Now, we take it for granted now that all of these movies are going to have post-credit scenes and they're going to tease what's going to happen next. But there was a point in time where we just went to go see Iron Man and we'd heard murmurings, hey, stick around throughout the credits. And then we did. In the movie, we didn't know it was setting up a Marvel Cinematic Universe. We didn't know what a Marvel Cinematic Universe was. Every franchise wasn't trying to be a shared universe at the time. So this movie comes out. And you stick around and there's little hints of S.H.I.E.L.D. It was like, oh, those are cool little Easter eggs. I like what they're doing there. And you stick around to the end of it. And then Samuel L. Jackson walks out as Nick Fury. And you don't understand, if you haven't read the comics, you don't understand that like in the revamped version of the Avengers called The Ultimates that they put out about 15 years ago, they designed Nick Fury around Samuel L. Jackson's appearance. He used to look totally different and they changed his appearance. And so when you had Samuel L. Jackson walk out, it was like, are they really doing this? And then he says, we're putting a team together. And we're like, wait, are they going to start doing shared, joined together Marvel movies? Really? And our heads exploded with excitement for what they were going to do. It's just the concept of it because nobody was doing anything like this. No one had successfully done it. And here we are 10 years later, because that movie came out 10 years ago to the week. And for me, this is still the best one because this scene teased all this stuff that we just got. All this stuff that we've seen over the last 10 years. This was the one that made you go, it's going to happen. The ultimate tease with the ultimate payoff. I don't think they can ever top this one for me for the simple fact of the reason that this is the one that teased the entire Marvel Cinematic Universe and they pulled off the Marvel Cinematic Universe. So for me, it is absolutely my #1 pick. But how about you? What are your top picks? Tell me down below in the comments section. Which ones did I put way too low? Which ones did I put too high? Give me your feedback, all that fun stuff. And if you're new to my channel, please consider clicking that subscribe button. I do movie reviews, TV reviews, ranking videos. But the key thing is I don't want to just talk about movies. I want to talk about movies with you. So join me in the comment section. Let's have a lively discussion, yet respectful. Let's kind of respect each other down there. You don't need to call me names if you don't like my placement of things. And as always, thank you for watching.